Greetings, all. This is Dr. Berkeley, and what I would like to do for you is to just walk you through the course shell very quickly. It's very similar to other online classes, but there are some changes in how I set things up. It depends on how well you do on your pre-tests for each module, and of course, then how we conclude and wrap up and move on to the next item. So let me take you through a few things that you need to review. And from there, I will show you the modules. And then if you have any questions, just let me know. So we'll start with the top item here, which is the announcements page. Now, every announcement that I put here will also be sent to you as an email. So look for those emails. You are obligated to read them and to follow the instructions in them. That is the primary way that I communicate with you on a class-wide basis. Now, one-on-one, I might find different ways to communicate with you individually, but for announcements that are for the whole class, everything has to be done through your SIUE email, so make sure that you are reading your announcements that are here on the main page of Blackboard, but also they'll be sent to you as as an email. The next link below that is called Getting Started and About This Course, and this is where you will get all the things you need. An overview for the class here, a checklist step by step of things you're supposed to do, a summary of me, how to access my email and phone number for my office. The course syllabus will be here. How to get feedback and how to find the rubric in Turnitin. Resources for using APA format, which you will primarily use. You should have learned this in your Management 330 class, but we're reinforcing it here in this class, making sure that you do your in-text citations and reference lists consistent with APA formatting. I'm not looking for you to do cover pages and all those sorts of things that a more advanced research project would expect of you. I really just want to make sure you know how to use proper citations to have it so you don't have any issues with that. We have the technical requirements to run the course, all those sorts of things, what our undergraduate learning goals are, any kind of resources and things available to you will be here. Our textbook will be in, I guess, it's called Red Shelf now, but the name is going to change, so look for that. But all that information is here, and this is our honesty and plagiarism policies, acceptable use policies, all these sorts of things that you should be reviewing. These are all university policies that don't change from student to student and class to class, so you're aware of that. I'm scrolling back up here. So make sure you review this, review the syllabus, and then you'll notice that there is a thing here called the Academic Integrity Module. Every student either has to take the integrity module and pass the integrity module quiz by 80%, or if they've passed it in a previous class, they can upload their certificate so we know that the information is available and that you understand what the School of Business considers to be plagiarism or academic impropriety, things you're not supposed to do with respect to intellectual property and copying things and plagiarizing things that do not belong to you. So that is accessible here, but I will show you where that needs to be taken care of. So this is basic course information. And then over here is course content. So click then on coursework. Now this will look different for you because this is the instructor portal. So the instructor portal, the only thing that you'll see when you first log in here is this pre-coursework module. The rest of these will be released for you once you finish the requirements for the module beforehand. So once you finish pre-coursework, Competency 1 Strategic Thinking opens for you. So let me click on pre-coursework, so you know what's expected. And you'll notice here on the front page, we have a list of the things that you need to do. And then we have the portals for those items in the pre-coursework folder. You have to post your crash plan. So in case your internet crashes, what are you going to do? You have to submit a post in your course introduction discussion board. You then have to submit a post in the syllabus reconnaissance discussion board, which means I want you to review your syllabus and make sure you highlight some important items, very specifically share what those items are and what students need to know. Um, I'm looking for very specific, detailed example, not just say, be careful of the due dates. You should say, this course doesn't have any due dates, but everything needs to be done by October 10th, kind of thing, right? Or whatever date the end of the class is. So you'll have to do that discussion board and do a submission there. And then the academic integrity module, you need to pass that with an 80% rate, and then you have to upload your certificate. So let me click on here and take you through that. So again, here's a refreshing a refreshed list. Sorry, I'm having a problem talking today. A refreshed list of the things that you need to do. So your internet crash plan is here. I do not want you to attach files because all of your files, when you do that, load up my download folder. I can read everything in the portal. I want everything to be in the portal. I do not want you to give me attached files on any assignment for the class, to be clear. So we want to make sure you've got a backup plan. And so there's three major questions. Where can you access the internet if your primary access is unavailable? If you have an outage, if you didn't pay your bill and you no longer have internet, whatever that might be, how are you going to access the internet to stay on top of coursework? Where do you store your assignments? I want to make sure that you have a secure place, whether it's on your primary computer or whether it's in Dropbox or Google Drive or OneDrive or whatever do you use. And then if your primary computer crashes and you lose all your data, what's your backup plan? What should you be doing or what will you do to make sure you don't lose all your data? And again, I don't care what you choose to do. I want you to be thinking about these items before you get into an online class because being able to manage your computers and look out for the worst case scenario is really important when you have items that need to get done and completed. Your course introduction should be what's your name, your major, what do you want to do when you graduate, and what do you want to learn in this course. Your syllabus reconnaissance assignment is basically to review the a syllabus to identify three items that you think are important for success and to list them and describe them. For example, the syllabus states the assignments are due on X date, or there are three assignments, each weighted X amount of percentage points. Once you have posted and you look at what your classmates have reviewed, you might have the same things down, you might not. But it's important for you to review all of them so you make sure there are no surprises, that you've looked at the syllabus, you've explored it, and that we don't have any problems when you say, I didn't know I needed to do that, because 99% of the time it's in the syllabus. Lastly is the academic integrity module. I will click on this and show you where to go. So you will access the integrity module here. You click on it here, and you'll notice that this is where the module is, this is where the quiz is, and then you will get a certificate when you are done that you need to be able to print out and save as a PDF or a JPEG. It doesn't matter whether it's a photo or whether it's a PDF. I don't care. But you need to have a copy of that, and then you need to upload it into the portal. So that would go then uh, back here, close this up, go back here, and this is where you would upload your certificate. I need you to know that it may take up to 48 hours for me to access this and to review it. So plan accordingly, right? I mean, you probably have a certificate from a previous class, and if you don't, then it is really important that you make sure that you get the academic integrity module done before you can access any of the course materials. We need to ensure that students know what is and isn't appropriate with respect to academic integrity. So once you finish all that, I'll go back here, you have completed all the assignments, and should see then, once I approve your certificate, that is, for your academic integrity module, you will then see this first module, Competency 1, Strategic Thinking. The cover always reviews what you need to do. So it says, here's the lecture material that will be included. So there will be an overview of what human resource management is. Then there will be a discussion about what is strategic human resource management. And then it lists the assignments for this particular module. So it'll be a module pretest, an HR strategy analysis exercise or assessment that we will be doing, and then you have to do a post test. Everybody has to take the pretest, and if you pass it with 80%, you can move on to the assessment. You don't have to review the lecture material. It will be available for you because you should reference it, and I expect you to reference it when we're ready to do your assignments, but you don't have to actively sit down and listen and mark reviewed on those items because you should automatically you have passed the test and you know it. Most of you probably won't. Unless you've worked in human resource management, most of you probably won't pass those pre-tests, and it's okay. That grade does not go into your grade book. You'll be perfectly fine. But we want to get a sense of what your baseline knowledge is to start with, and then we will compare it to your post-test and see how well you improved. And that's a way for us to assess your learning outcomes, right? Making sure you actually learned what we set out to have you learn in each module. So, if you don't pass it, you will have to access the lectures and the readings and actually read them and actually listen to the lectures. Then you'll do that assessment and then you'll do the post test. So each module is the same. So I'm going to click in here. And what you will see when you are first accessing this is only the first two boxes. This will be, because I haven't done it yet, a video overview of what this module entails and what's going to be included in it. Then you'll see this pretest. I want you to go in and do the pretest. If you don't know the answer, click on something. It's not a big deal. You have to pass it with an 80% to be able to bypass the readings in the lecture material. Otherwise, if you don't pass it, then you'll access that material entirely. This score will not show up in your final grade calculation, so don't worry about it. It is not a panic mode. You have 45 minutes to answer 30 questions. If you can answer it, great. If you can't, that's fine too. From there, once you complete this, automatically the readings and the lecture material will open for everybody. Particularly if you have not passed the original pretest, this is what you'll have access to next. You have to do all the readings, you have to do the lecture material, and then once you've done that and you click on reviewed to have completed that, then you will access Competency 1 assessment. And that includes the assessment assignment for you. But let's start looking through here. So each of the readings, either it's a separate reading, if I've downloaded it and saved it for you to do a separate reading, or it's a chapter or a part of a chapter in your textbook, which is Bauer et al., Human Resource Management in a Digital Age, or something like that. It has to do with doing HR analytics and how important that is in our field. The lecture material, you click on it here and you'll notice there's material for chapter 1. There will be lecture materials here. All the videos will be there in probably about 15-minute increments. So if you only have time to listen for 15 minutes, you can get one of those done and then you can move on to the next thing. The PowerPoints for both are located here. So once this opens up, you'll see lecture material, video recorded, as well as your PowerPoints to review, and you can take notes if you need to. Now, again, if you've passed the pretest module, you have access to this, but you don't necessarily need to review it. It's always helpful, though, to be able to look at it, just so you know. So going backwards here, back to the main menu. Once you have completed the readings, you click on reviewed and you'll see it here. It says review status, and there'll be a little review button for you to click on, and that will open up, that will identify to the system that you have reviewed the readings and you've done them. Same thing here with lecture material. There's a review button option that you'll see, and it'll be around in this area. You'll click on it, having reviewed all the lecture material. Once you do that, Competency 1 opens up for you, the assessment. And in here, you'll see what your assignment is. You have to do an analysis of a company. Here's a website, web link for them. talk about strategy development and what needs to be done and what your deliverable will look like. And then it gets uploaded here in Turnitin. Your upload into Turnitin is a two-step process. You upload it and then you submit. So make sure you do two steps. And then you get a confirmation that the material has been uploaded and safely and securely. And this way you know that it's been done. And then, assuming that it's been done correctly, and you have submitted it, then automatically your post test will open. So you don't get to do the post test until you've completed everything else in the course. The post test, you will have to pass that with an 80%. And again, if you pass the pre-test with 80%, you should have no problems passing the post test. They're basically from the same pool of questions. They're not going to be identical exams, although there may be some identical questions here and there, just so you're aware. You have 3 tries to pass this. If you have not already passed it, if you fail it twice, I recommend you come talk to me. We will sit down and look at where you are having problems with what questions, and then that will enable you then to go back in to study a little harder, and then you can take it the third time with the expectation you'll pass. And a pass is, as I said, is an 80%. This score, whatever the last score is that you do, so if you only take it once, then that's the score that gets uploaded. If you take it 3 times, then it's the third one that will get uploaded into your grade. And here is the summary of the things that you need to do in order to complete this assessment. So if you do not pass the pretest, review the readings, then click review. If you then you have to review the lecture materials and click review. Complete your competency module assessment, then you take your post test. And again, it says here, if you have failed it twice, contact me. We will review your study plan and figure out where your weakness is, and I will explain concepts if you need to. Now, if you don't pass it the first time and you want to meet with me, I am absolutely open for that. But you have to contact me after the second one for sure. The last thing I want is you to go into the third time, the third strike, and you're out, and you are not on top of what you need to know and understand in order to be able to pass the test. So just so you're aware of that. And once you have completed this, right, you will move on. And so there's basically the same kind of instructions if you did pass it, except that you don't have to mark reviewed on the readings and the lecture material. But I expect that most of you will probably don't have enough background on the field of HR to be able to pass those pre-tests. So don't get discouraged and don't worry about it because again, your pre-test score will not count in your final grade at all. It's just an assessment for us to know where you're at. So if you have any questions on that, let me know. So that's how each module will be set up. So there are 7 modules with 7 basic competencies, and each one of them covers a major area, whether it's strategic thinking or employment laws or job design and recruitment and selection or employee relations or talent management, all of those topics. All of them have a breakdown into a couple of subcategories of materials and information that you need to know. So basically, that's about it. You will have discussion boards, and these are, again, at your own pace. And you will see here they're identical assignments, but you have to do 3 of them over the course of the class. So all your instructions are here. Choose an article that you have read in the real world, New York Times, HR Drives, SHRM.org, Forbes, CNN, NPR, it doesn't matter to me. And on a particular human resource management topic, and then you have to post analysis of the article. And then as your classmates post things, because you're all going to be working at different paces, but as your classmates post things, you should go in and post on their comments to classmates that you need to respond to, offering thoughts and experiences, asking follow-up questions. Now, whatever that is, and then drawing connection to HR concepts or other news stories that you've read and say, oh, I saw a similarity with this article I read a couple of weeks ago that talked about this as an issue, and now I'm concerned about this, and I found your article really interesting, kind of thing. There's three of them. They're all identical, but you have to submit something in all three of them, and you have to respond to classmates in all three of them. And then you will get a discussion board grade at the end of the course for your final grades. So that's discussion boards. Your textbook, whether it's called Red Shelf or whatever the other name is, will be located right here. So you'll be ready to go there. Obviously, you know you can access your grades and things here. If we have a Zoom meeting, I will record it, and then you will have access to that if you missed the meeting and you want to talk about something. I expect all of you to come with questions if you have it. Um, or if you just want to come in and say hello and get to know me, that's totally fine too. But I would like them to be productive meetings when we do this, and you're more than welcome to bring any questions you have about course concepts to that meeting, and that's not a problem. So that should be everything there that you can see. So if you have any questions, absolutely let me know. But this is the basic structure of the course. You will start to see that as it gets developed, that you'll be able to access all the modules as you complete the assignments. And again, work through it as fast as you can if you want to, or just take your time and do it one a week. Sometimes you may have to do two a week if you've fallen a little bit behind, but it's absolutely imperative you stay tracking as quickly as you can so that you can get this done at the end of the 7-week period. So if you have any questions, let me know, and I will talk to you soon.